Hello everyone,
we're
MossCharmly.
MossCharmly. Today we're going to talk about gimmick. What is gimmick, how to use it, or even why would you use it? These are just some of the topics we will touch on in our overview of gimmick. So first off, what is gimmick?
It is Gracie's magic of image computing. Really, that's what it is. So there we go. In short, it's a library of filters for image processing and manipulation, be it for 2D or 3D. We do want to let you know that gimmick is really RAM intensive, so we recommend 16 gigabytes of RAM at the minimum. We use 32 gigabytes, and we only really feel that little bit of chug when we have really, really big images. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Also, gimmick is free and open source, and it is also a standard plugin with Krita.
Exactly.
So, okay, how to use gimmick and what can it be used for? So, at first, these were two separate questions we wanted to answer, but we found that they are one question with two parts. So we came to this conclusion because gimmick is an inundating filter funhouse. So that will make you lose sight of why you wanted to use it for in the first place. So, it's really cool.
There's just a lot of
filters.
Look
Filters.
at all that. Like, holy cow.
Yeah.
635, it says?
Yes.
Wow.
A pure awesome.
They are. It's pure fun.
Yeah, that is fun. I have lost a complete day just looking at all the filters. I'm not gonna lie.
It's awesome.
So that is why the first piece of advice when using gimmick that we recommend is maybe to write down on a piece of paper what you want to do. So like if you're, for example, if you're trying to mimic an artist's effect that you see, that you admire, try to quantify how and what you want to achieve. So step into it with a goal. So for example, maybe their art seems grainy and blurry with a strange gradient of particles like flakes of snow, or maybe rain, or maybe even glass, or maybe it looks sketchy or has water on it and you think, wow, that's really cool. So describing what you want to achieve will help so much. So let's jump into gimmick.
Here we go. Okay. So this is the image without all the fun stuff on it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, so to show you, these are just all different layers. So like, for example, this is a hair layer, and this is a skin layer, and it's all single layers we separated just to share with you
what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
Okay.
Also gimmick. The best thing with gimmick, the best tool that gimmick actually has is the favorites, right?
Yes. So let's go into
we'll
gimmick.
Gimmick.
Go into clicking filter, and then go into start gimmick QT. And you click in it. Okay.
It's gonna stay exactly where you left off.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like just stays.
Stays where you have it.
Exactly.
This button here on this corner, it expands and collapses everything.
Yeah.
So you can click it and it will collapse it, and it can click it and expand it.
Expands everything.
So yeah, like you were saying, the coolest thing is you can add favorites, and this is really helpful because you won't be as inundated once you start maybe collecting some of the things that you really like.
And we have. If you open that up,
we
can
have.
definitely show. We definitely have a lot of filters that we recommend. We're going to leave these filters in the description right below.
Yeah, in the
description
video.
box in the video. Yeah. So there we go. Let's get into showing how to make a favorite to begin with.
Yes. So to make a favorite, we're going to search one of the favorites that we like in the search bar up top. So we're going to look for vignette. So we're going to just write VIG, and okay, it has it right there.
Super easy.
That was fast.
There you go.
And then you can click it. And there are two ways that you can add it to your favorites. One of them is that you can add it to your favorites on the bottom left corner here. It has a little green ribbon with a plus, and you can add it here to your favorites, or you can also delete it from your favorites to here if you want. So that's one way to add and delete things from your favorites. Another way is you can click on it. You can click on the filter you want, and then you can use your right click, and then you can add favorites, and that will add it too. That's also where you can add tags. So we're gonna show you how to do that too. So that's pretty cool.
Also, the favorites drop-down menu won't exist until you create one favorite.
Yes.
So it's kind of like if you're trying to figure out where it is, it won't be there till you make one.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to let you know. So there, cool. So we can actually go all the way back to the original, right? You can just delete.
You can delete it on the search bar.
Just to show. And there it is.
Yeah.
So it is actually in the favorites now.
Yeah.
And everything's alphabetical, so that'll help out.
Yeah, here's our ginormous list.
Yeah. But it's less, you know, than the entire gambit of it.
Yeah,
So,
that's what's so nice.
Let's add a tag, eh?
Yes, let's add a tag. So we're on vignette, and we're gonna right click, and we can add a tag here. So I can add a little cyan color here, a little blue. That's cool. And you can add multiple tags too. So that's really neat. Like for example, we have all of our yellow tags are kind of for pencil, like a sketch kind of look, a sketchy look. If you want to find multiple, you know, anything you've tagged, you can go into this little color wheel on the bottom and it will manage your tags. So you can click on it and you can show anything yellow. And here's all our favorite sketchy tags that we want to use.
There we go.
So that's pretty cool.
That's nice to be able to minimize and organize.
Yeah.
You know? And then you can go back and just show all, right?
Yeah.
And then it'll just redo it all. So if you go back to the color wheel, right?
Yeah.
And
then you can undo that, or
go.
you can just press show all filters.
That's cool. See?
Yeah. So you can add multiple tags to it too. So say you want multiple colors, you
Blue
can do
and
that
red.
too.
See, that's neat.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool. That's really neat. So there we go. Let's show some examples of how to even use it.
Yes, let's get
and why
in.
we'd use it, right?
Yes.
Because there's definite filters in Gimmick that are the same, that are standard for Krita, but they obviously are a little different in the way they go about doing
Yes, and we're going to go in a little bit into that too, actually, because that's really cool.
Yeah.
So to do this, we're going to right click on our hair layer, and we're going to duplicate this layer because we don't want it to affect. We'll have like a little original. Yeah.
Just in case.
Yes.
Because if you flub up, hey, just delete it, trash can, you're good. Try
Yeah.
again. It's easy. It's all about having fun experimenting.
It is. Now we're going to go into filter, and we're going to start Gimmick, and we're going to start adding our first cool filter. So here we're going to go into Sketch. So you can either type Sketch into this because it's pretty inundating, or we have it in yellow. So we'll show all yellow tags. And it's Sketch.
There you go.
And see, it shows a close-up. Let's get a close-up look.
There we go. That's
and
cool.
It does this cool texture. And here on the side, you can play with these bars and you can change a lot of stuff with it. So you can
increase its intensity, orientation,
increase smoothness. Like it.
That's so neat.
You can do so much.
There's a lot to really, have fun with.
Yeah, you can really just play around and explore with this.
That's awesome.
So we're gonna press OK when we get what we like. And you're like, okay, that's kind of nice. We like that. So and there it does its chugs when we press OK.
Yeah.
It's doing its
just computational
stuff.
Yeah, it's getting there. Boom.
There we
done.
go.
Very cool. You can also alter these layers with its blending mode.
Yeah.
Right? So you can just go in there and change it to like overlay or other stuff, right?
Yeah,
See,
it's pretty.
So you can have like multiples at once.
I like that. It does. You can really play around with that and maybe have really cool effects. That's really neat.
That's nice.
Glow's kind of cool.
And you can adjust its opacity and everything else, right?
Yeah.
See, just like any other layer.
Yeah. So you can, and then you can add that and look close up.
That's nice.
That's cool.
Isn't that nice?
You can play with that opacity, so it's kind of subtle.
Yeah, right.
That's cool.
Kind of has like a charcoal or maybe even like colored pencil kind of finish
Yeah.
like that. That's neat.
I think that's cool.
Very cool.
Well, we're gonna make another one, so we're going to right click on our
original
layer. Yeah. And we're going to duplicate it, and now we're going to put another filter. So we'll go up to filter, start Gimmick, and there we go. This one we're going to do, it is a noise gradient. So like for example, if you can't find it and things are just, here we have it right here, but if you want to look for it, you can always just type it in the search bar.
Yeah.
And you will see it and you can click it. And it's really cool. You can see what it does, and you could change up the strength and make it even more rainbowy and cool. You can just do stuff with it. It's really cool.
That's neat because the channels are set to RGB, so it's really kind of like, it really is, you know, that kind of a noise. I bet if you can change it to different colors, linear RGB.
Look at that.
Look at that. You can, yeah, there's obviously a lot of options.
That is endless.
Yeah, right?
It's so cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
That is super cool. Also, if you don't, maybe you mess with the slide bars a lot and you're like, oh, I don't like that. How do I get it back to its original state? You can click this button right here and it will bring you back to what it was originally.
Yeah.
So just in case if you don't like it, or it will usually stay where you left off.
Yeah, right.
So you can do that. So remember that button's there.
Nice.
So okay, we're like, oh, it's pretty nice rainbow. Let's press OK. Does its computational magic.
Cool.
And
it's really cool.
It's really pretty.
Like you drop the, you can do an overlay again, and it's
Ooh,
that's
yeah,
so
let's
neat
try
because
that.
it's underneath the other one, so it's really neat.
See what it does.
Yeah.
And we can even maybe move the layers around.
You can.
So maybe that might do
It'll
something.
change different things.
Yeah, that's pretty
Very
cool. So that's
like
really
it.
neat. So you can put on normal again. You can grain merge or grain extract just to play around. I mean, ooh,
Look at
that's
that.
cool.
Pretty cool.
That's actually neat.
Yeah.
I wonder what glow would do. I like the
It glows
grain
like
merge.
the glow.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Strap. What do you think?
That's different. I don't know. Drop the opacity down. See what happens. See, it's like it really gives a
Ooh.
lot of different, looks.
I like that. And you can add a lot of cool subtle effects with this.
Yeah. You
So
can.
this is really cool.
Just add it to the face too. Let's do the
Yes,
That one's
let's
kind of cool.
do it. We're gonna duplicate the skin layer here. So we're going to duplicate layer mask. So now we're on the skin layer. Let's go up to gimmick by going up to filter, start gimmick.
Use
And-
the sketch one, right?
Yeah, let's use the sketch one. That's really cool. So we'll go to sketch.
Super cool.
Yeah.
You can like change the number, orientation, strength, angle, things like that, just to give it a little bit different look. There you
Yeah.
go. Cool.
That's cool.
That's neat.
What do you think?
I like it.
All right, let's press OK. Very cool. Computational magic is going on.
There we go. It's doing its business.
It's
you know,
doing
it's
its
working.
business.
That's a good sign.
That is cool.
There we go. See, and there's like continuity in the image.
Yeah.
That's really
Oops.
cool.
Sorry about
just
that.
Did a little zoom. A little
I got
shifty.
excited.
Hey, they are.
Okay, so here's another thing too with these things. You can also erase them. So for example, we'll go up to soft eraser and we can erase around the nose, maybe erase certain things, maybe erase around the lips, and it can add up to these effects.
You have a little more control.
Yeah, like you can do cool stuff with this. So maybe any areas you might want to erase or highlight, in a way you can do that with this.
That's nice.
So just wanted to show that it can
These
do
are all
that.
changeable. This is really cool, especially
Yeah.
when you have them on top of the layers on top of each other. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
See, this is really neat.
yeah. So it can make it more subtle too if you want.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
really nice.
Gives you that option.
Definitely. I
Okay,
like it. See,
yeah.
it looks good.
Nice.
Looks really good to me.
Okay.
There you go.
Now here we're gonna do iris or the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
This is something we wanted to talk about too. With Krita's regular layers, we have two things we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Krita has really good filter layers, for example, just regularly within Krita. So if you go into filter and blur, and they will have blur, Gaussian blur, lens blur, and motion blur. And we're just gonna give you an example here.
Yeah, this is to show the difference between the filters.
Yeah,
right?
this
Because
is
this is the standard Krita filter.
yeah. So like this is motion blur and standard within Krita, and it gives you two options here in the slider. You can, and this is in the eye, so you might not be able to see it super well. So we'll try to make it a little bit more close up. So in it gives you length of the motion blur, and it gives you an angle. So that's pretty cool. So it does give you cool options.
Exactly.
So that's really neat. And sometimes that simpleness is better with it. But we wanted to show you with within Gimmick, it just like
it's a whole different set of rules.
Yeah, it's so
It
amazing.
really does, literally.
So we're going to show. So this is the difference of motion blur within Krita, and this is in Gimmick. So we're going to go back into filter and start Gimmick, and motion blur. These are the options within motion blur.
It'd be blur motion.
Yeah, so it's in blur motion.
But this is what's cool about it.
Yeah, this liftoff where
maybe we should
experimenting.
actually pick a different layer besides the eyes.
Yeah,
let's just pick a different
you're right.
one.
Let's
That's
try
okay,
that.
just in case, because it shows it, but might be a little bit easier to understand.
Yeah, we could show it with the hair layer, one of the hair layers we did. Oh, actually,
yeah, pick that one, the original. It'll definitely show it
in the original filter, start Gimmick.
Here we go. Oh, see, perfect.
Check this out. Like, this is awesome. This is how it shows it. You have different modes here. You can change the strength. What I think is really awesome is that you can change where you want these nodes to be. And
you can add the amount of controllers or nodes too.
Yeah,
so
you can
have
add
3 or 4.
5.
So we get 5. It's incredible.
And that's really cool because say you want a really cool dynamic pose with motion.
Yeah, right?
This will give you so many more options.
It also shows its intensity through the waveform. So it's basically, like hot to cold, basically.
Yeah.
So it actually will show more blurry opposed to all the way to less. So.
Yeah, like that start to finish of it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
So that's really cool. So you can see like weight decay and like all sorts of stuff.
There's a lot more you can do with this.
And it will change it up. So that is super, super duper cool.
Yeah.
So it gives you other cool options here. I just was super impressed with that. And that is a really cool thing.
It is. Just to show you that there's a lot out there.
Yeah, just to show you that. We're going to reset that.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So it goes back to normal, and we're gonna close that out, and we're gonna go back to Iris, and then we're gonna talk about our second
Chromatic Aberration.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because this is a filter that's in Procreate.
Yeah.
Right. That actually is good.
Yes.
So
this is cool because Chromatic Aberration is a really fun filter. I think it's really cool and pretty. And Procreate has this effect too, but it does not give you half as many options.
No.
So I was so impressed that you could change the colors here of the Chromatic Aberration if you wanted to. That's so cool.
That is.
So you could do that. You can change.
You can really compile quite a lot of differentiation too.
Yeah, like here, look, changing the amplitude here. It moves it around.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
And it's just that one color, so you could literally.
Of just that.
Yeah, so you have a lot more control about the actual aberration itself. You know, like you can really get a neat look.
That is so impressive.
Cool.
That is so cool to me. I put it back to where it was, so because it's just that looks nice.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just so impressed with what you can do with that.
Yeah.
So wow! Shout out to Gimmick.
Example, right?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It has more options.
For sure.
So we're gonna press OK on that.
There we go. See, that looks great.
Yeah,
that looks really great. There we go.
So okay, so let's see, what's our next one? I think is that it? Oh no, let's do
background.
backgrounds.
We want to do the background. Want to show you can throw a background in here too. Right?
Okay, yes, let's show the background. So this is what we've got so far. So we're gonna show a background with this. This is pretty cool and fun.
Paint layer.
So for example, should we start with the?
Yeah, I would. Let's do the stripes.
Yeah, so
it's incredible what it can do.
So we're on a new layer above background, and we're going to go back to Gimmick, start Gimmick, and we're going to go to stripes. And we've already got in our thing. You could just type it in the search bar, stripes, and we've already pre-made stripes. But just to show you, you could change the angle of the stripes. You can change the colors here. Gives you so many options. This is so cool. And you can even change, like if you want to give it an outline, the size. I love that. You could change the size, so we'll make it a little bit bigger. This is fun too. You can make it concentric here.
Yes, right.
You can make rays. So
These are
that's
some really cool options just to throw in a background real fast.
Right?
You know, so I think that's really nice.
that's pretty cool. So we're
Yeah.
gonna keep it at rectangular,
Mhm.
and we're gonna press OK. So yeah, it gives us cool stripes.
There we go.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. There we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Nice.
Very neat.
Okay. What else do you think?
I don't know.
Should we add more?
I don't know. I think we're good just to
Yeah.
show a good example of what
Yeah.
can be done. Because eventually you can add, if you show the actual
Oh,
original
yes.
one or the one that we had, you know, all the fun. Like there's water droplets. There's all kinds of things that you can add to this, right? I mean, it's really quite interesting.
You can just go to town. So
yeah, right?
there's so many fun ones to do. We really recommend playing around with it. Bokeh is fun too because you can change the shapes. If you could kind of see in the background, there are stars in this one.
Mm-hmm.
They have different shapes in Bokeh.
For the Bokeh. So you
For
can like
Bokeh.
change. That's really neat.
Yeah,
See, that's really
so you
a
can
cool
make
thing.
them outline. So just to share with you, that's cool.
Yeah, right? There's a lot to do.
Yeah, so there's a lot to do, a lot you can do, and a lot you can experiment with. So feel free to have fun and experiment with
There we go.
a gimmick.
You know, we hope this helps you out with your art, and you know, definitely when you have the time, go and experiment for sure, right? Like that's kind of like the lesson of it all.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have the ones that we recommend, and we'll put those down there, and you know, check them out for yourself. But you know, yeah, we really hope this helps everybody out because gimmick is one of those tools that's really amazing and might be overlooked in Krita.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
MossCharmly out.
Have fun, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day.